Hey everyone, this is Banang. I hope you're doing well and welcome to the first video of my new basics series. In this video I want to talk to you about keywords. I want to explain what are keywords, what the keywords are, and what you have to look out for when you're confronted or when you're playing with or against keywords. So this is a two-part video. First, I will go over the keywords, the neutral keywords, and then I will deal with the faction-specific keywords. The neutral keywords are the keywords that can appear on either neutral or on any of the factions. And the faction-specific ones, as the name implies, only appear in one faction. So let's look at the neutral keywords first, and for ease of access, I will go over them alphabetically. First one would be Airdrop. These are the Airdrop minions that I currently have. Oh, it doesn't say anything when you mouse over them. That's a pity. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna explain to you now what Airdrop is. Airdrop means you can play this minion everywhere on the board. Normally, you can only play a minion next to your general or your other minions. And an airdrop minion you can play in any corner you wish, 2 spaces or 3 spaces away from your own general. You can play them anywhere there is a free tile, so you can't play it on another minion or on the enemy general, but anywhere else you can play them. And this is very interesting and very important at the beginning, first of all, to block the passage. Many Mechazor players play on first turn the wings, just in front of the enemy general, so the enemy can't walk away. And the other important thing about airdrop is that you can't be penned in if you have airdrop, which means if you're standing in the corner and the enemy has surrounded you, you can still play something. Okay, airdrop is kind of useful, but you have to pay a lot of stats for airdrop. That's why you can see the airdrop minions aren't that good. That's why it isn't played too often, except for Lionar. The Iron Cliff Guardian is amazing. It has airdrop, it has huge positional advantage, and yeah, this is basically the only really good airdrop minion. And Mechazor, but that's another topic, that's another basics video. Okay, the next one is flying. Wait, if we are going with alphabetical, the next one would be Dying Wish. I'm sorry. Dying Wish is an effect that happens when this minion dies, or to be exact, after this minion dies. When you've played a bit, you've probably encountered this one, the Jaxi. It summons another minion after it dies. Dying Wish can be very, very versatile. There are different kinds of effects from varying strengths and weaknesses, but they all have in common that it happens after the minion dies, which means this effect is not triggered when the minion is either dispelled or transformed, or in case you play against Vanna, the card is sent back and then destroyed. The minion, the body itself, is not destroyed. That's why the Dying Wish will not trigger. Okay, keep in mind, the Dying Wish triggers when the minion on the board really dies. Other than that, well, there's not too much to worry about Dying Wish. Just keep the effects in mind. Okay, now we come to flying. Flying is very interesting. Flying means that you can move the minion, that it has unrestricted movement in terms of how many spaces it can move. So normally a minion can only move 2 spaces, either cardinal directions, or an L shape, a square shape, because 1 and then 2. A flying minion, on the other hand, can move anywhere it wants. And it's important to know, flying negates positioning, which means it can walk through 2 minions. So if a minion, if the enemy has 2 minions in a ladder, normally you couldn't walk through. A flying minion can walk through, even if the enemy has, like, you know, a square and a free tile in the middle. The flying minion can go in there. Yeah, that's very important for several reasons. First of all, you can play your flying minion safely in the background. So if, for example, Dragonlark used to be very, very popular at the start of this game, because you could play it very far behind, and then, yeah, either the next turn either catch any of the mana orbs, or fly to the other corner and then play a ranged minion somewhere in the corner, or do all kinds of shenanigans. Also, flying minions synergy very well with those spells that do something around them. For Vanna, for example, it's what's it called? The aspect of the mountains. That's very nice. If the enemy plays around it, but you play a flying minion, you can play around his counterplay. Also, Lionar's Holy Immolation, of course, benefits a lot from flying. Okay, flying, movement. And then we have, oh my god, what's the next one? Frenzy, yes, thank you. Frenzy. Frenzy is a very, very interesting mechanic. Frenzy means after you attack a minion or an enemy, all enemy around the attacking unit gets the same amount of damage, but the minion only gets counter-attacked by the one minion that it has attacked. So, for example, my Serpenti stands between the enemy general and a 1-1 dude. And my Serpenti attacks the 1-1 guy. He will receive 1 damage from the 1-1 guy, but also deals 7 damage to the enemy general. And if there are any more enemies around it, it will also damage all those. Frenzy does not combine with ranged, which I will go over later if you are attacking ranged, but that's something for later. Also, keep in mind that excuse me. Any effects that reads after whenever this minion deals damage, for example the Purgatos, it triggers every time it deals damage, which means if you give your Purgatos by some means frenzy and it attacks several times, the effects will trigger several times. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Frenzy for attacking enemies and dealing AoE damage. Okay, the next one would then be Provoke. Provoke. Alright, Provoke. There are many Provoke minions in this game, as you can see, because Provoke is just, yeah, very, very strong. First of all, it protects yourself. What it does is that all provoked minions have to attack the provoker and can't move. And not only the minions, but the generals also. So if you provoke something, it has to kill that first. Your enemy has to kill the provoker first before he can kill the important minions or before he can kill your general. Additionally, he can't move anymore. That's like nearly just as good, because positioning is very important in this game, and when you deny your enemy the means to position himself better or correctly, you can use all your position-based spells, you can abuse his bad position to win you the game. I see very often that, especially in the lower ranks, that yeah, people just don't know how to deal with it. You can't move. Many people like play something and then want to move. I can see their arrows pointing to a nearby space, and I always tell them, you can't. you're provoked. It's just you can't move. You have to either kill it, dispel it, or push it away, but you can't move anymore, and you have to attack this one. It's actually very simple, but I still see lots of people, you know, failing it. Okay, now we come to Rush. Rush is, if you know Hearthstone, it's just like Charge. This minion is not exhausted when it comes to play. It can act on the same turn it is played. So with 3 mana, I can play the Saber Spine Tiger and then attack with it immediately. Very simple. Lots of decks use some sort of rush as a finisher. For example, the Abyssian have very good rush minions. The Songhai has very good rush minions. It's just something that the enemy can't really play around unless he, you know, completely surrounds himself, and it's good as a finisher, and it's good as, you know, a surprise. And then we have one last, I believe. Oh, I forgot that. Opening Gambit, yeah. Okay, it's not a very good alphabetical order. Opening Gambit. Oh, now it says what Opening Gambit does. That's strange. Okay, why not? As you can read, Opening Gambit, it triggers an effect when you summon from your action bar. Actually, the effect happens before you summon it. Excuse me. That's very important because summoning a minion triggers lots of things, right? Like from your enemy, from yourself. And if the Opening Gambit, because the Opening Gambit happens before you summon the minion, sometimes it's very important to know that. One example is the Dancing Blades. It deals 3 damage to any minion in front of this minion, and you can summon this in front of the enemy's Crimson Oculus, and it kills that Oculus because it deals 3 damage first, and then this would get buffed, but because it's already dead, it's not buffed anymore. I'm pretty sure this is how it works. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is my understanding of Opening Gambit. And as you can see, the Opening Gambits are the most numerous of all the effects of the neutral keywords, because in this game removal is very easy, and your minion basically has to do something already when it's played. So normally you can't even wait 1 turn for this minion unless it's very, very sticky and you can be sure it will survive. So it should do something immediately when it is played. And that's why we have so many Opening Gambit minions. Okay, I believe that's it. Oh, of course, ranged, I forgot that. I promised you to explain the interaction between ranged and frenzy, right? Ranged means that this minion can attack any minion on the board, regardless of distance, unless it is provoked. But if it's not provoked, you can attack anything, anywhere on the board. And the good thing is, if the minion you have attacked is not adjacent to your ranged minion, it cannot attack back unless it has ranged itself. So imagine you have the Veil Hunter in one corner, you can attack his, I don't know, Jaxi, but not the mini Jax. You can attack his Jaxi in the other corner, and the Jaxi can't attack back. However, if you attack a mini Jax from the corner of the other side, it will gain a counter attack. And it's important to know that ranged only gets counter attacked by other ranged, not by blast minions. What blasts are, I will explain in the next video, okay? Also, ranged does not really combine with frenzy. If you have a minion that has both frenzy and ranged, you can only choose. You can attack from ranged, something in range, or you can use the frenzy if you attack something around you. Imagine your minion is surrounded by 8 other minions. You attack something in the other side of the map, you can attack it. It will not get counterattacked. If you attack something out of the 8 minions around your minion, you will deal frenzy damage, but you will get 1 counterattack. So you can't attack something afar and deal the frenzy damage at the same time. Just keep that in mind, okay? So we've now gone to R. I think, yeah, that's all the neutral keywords there are. There's always something you forget, right? Celerity. Let's see. Celerity. No, there's actually only 1 neutral minion with this neutral keyword. Celerity means that your minion can act twice in 1 turn before it is exhausted. After it's exhausted, it's like a normal minion. So on the turn you play this, it's exhausted, just like anything else, and then in the next turn, if it's still alive and not dispelled, it can act twice. Which means this is very good with minion buffs, with attack buffs, because it can double dip. It can use that buff twice in 1 turn. Yeah, it's the most famous example. It got nerfed, so I can't show you. It was the Lantern Fox, the Songhai one. If you've been playing for a month or 2, you probably knew that card. Okay. I'm pretty sure this was all. But yeah, these were all the keywords. I hope you've learned something. I hope you can improve your game with the information. If there are any questions, maybe they will be answered in the next one when I go over the faction-specific keywords. If not, feel free to add me in game, leave a comment, or write me a message on Twitch. With that, I will say goodbye, see you around to the next video. Bye!